What's up, guys? Maul here with another episode of Maul's Mind. Sorry for the inconsistency. A lot has been going on, and it's part of the reason of today's video. And before we go any further, yes, I own other hoodies. I just want to make that clear. I'm like, yo, whenever I make a video, I'm always in this hoodie. This is just my go-to hoodie. If you know, you know. But I want to talk about today the importance of allowing yourself to grieve. And grief can come in many forms. And well, it can stem from many things. The more relative, the more popular reason to grieve is because you lost somebody. And you don't even have to lose somebody in the physical to these bugs. You don't have to lose them in the physical to grieve the loss of somebody. You can grieve through, loss of relationships, platonic friendships, things of that nature. Loss of a relationship, loss. A lot of the times, when you're grieving, it's because you've lost something. And sometimes the way the world is now, it would seem like you have to still be on go and still move like a machine, even when you're in stages of grief, or you're in the process of grieving. And I'm here to remind you to allow yourself to grieve, however it is. There may be days where whatever you're processing may be easier than others, and some days where it's very, very hard. And remember, healing isn't linear. I'm gonna have to get an incense for this next one, because these guys are crazy. But healing isn't linear. You understand? Like, I've realized that over time that, we can still be working on ourselves at different points in time, even when we thought that we got over it, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, it's still there. We're still processing it, and you have to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace to feel how you're feeling wholeheartedly. And that comes down, and that also plays into addictions, where I'm getting at, because sometimes we tend to drown in our sorrows, or mask or repress all our feelings through our addictions. Alcohol, the drugs, substances, whatever the case may be. And what I've realized in my own personal journey is it only masks the real feeling. Sometimes it actually makes it worse. To quote the great Kendrick Lamar, you haven't felt grief till you felt the sober type shit, like type stuff. It's a completely different feeling to process when you're not altering your mind. So allow yourself to grieve. It's very important. And I'm saying it now with such conviction and with purpose, is because I'm currently grieving. I just lost my aunt, and she used to call me Lenny, as in Lenny Kravitz, because she always felt I was a star. And even though we may not have the best connections, it's still hitting home. And and back to the addictions. I'm all over the place, but bear with me because it's all gonna make sense in the end. You know, as far as addictions, that's part of the reason why she's not here anymore. Addictions catching up to you. And in my personal experience, I've been relying on substances to kind of just go through the day to day and I guess escape from what I'm really feeling. And I essentially relapsed once I even found out that happened, or that it was going to happen. Because it wasn't a sudden thing. It was kind of like stages. I guess that was God's grace right there, because it didn't just happen abruptly, but it was still something to process. And I'm allowing myself to grieve in however way I feel is necessary, but also remembering the path that I want to be on, or the path that I want to take. I've been focusing on sobriety a lot, but I knew I wasn't always going to be the straight edge forever. Take a drink here and there, maybe smoke something, but as far as health wise and stuff like that, I'm not as dependent as I was, and I shouldn't be, because I've had a long enough career with that type of stuff. But things like that also are why my aunt's not here right now, so it's more of a reason why I grieve, and I also regain the willpower to get back on the right foot and to move forward. It's been a lot, even though I'm still rolling with the punches of stuff. It's been a lot. Back to the addictions part too. Like, I realized there was times where, say, I was taking steps to cutting back from weed. Let's just say this is what it was. Come back from weed, and because there was many reasons why I wanted to slow down anyway. Because I wasn't feeling right anymore. It wasn't the same, and it was affecting how I was feeling physically too. So it was like, nah. But I started cutting back as far as how early I'm going to smoke, or whatever the case may be, and how early turned into, like, if I'm going to at all, kind of thing. But I realized those days that I chose to do it at a certain time, or a certain time of day, whatever the case may be, later on in the day, I realized I was way more emotional than I normally was. Like, I was ready to bawl, but I didn't understand why. But if you know me, then you'll know it's been a very turbulent year. So it's like, of course you're going to feel a way. You're going through X, Y, and Z back to back to back to back, bro. Of course you're going to, at some point, want to break down. You know, you're only human. So I was cutting back, and uh, I mainly started cutting back because I was getting headaches. You know, headaches more often, I should say. I was getting headaches more often, and I wasn't really watching my consumption like that. But as I focused more on my sobriety, the more emotional I was. Boy, oh boy. You know, weaned off of the weed. I barely drink like that, you know, on a regular basis. The way I consume alcohol is not the same as the way I consume weed. So that's not really the problem. Yeah, it may be the replacement, but it's not. It's nowhere near the problem. But um, it came to a point where, you know, I'm focusing on my sobriety. I'm on a good foot, and you know, I'm healing from a lot of things because I'm not running away. You know, I'm not running away from my feelings, and I'm grieving things properly. And whatever I've been dealing with, I've been grieving, whether I want to call it that or not. Grieving the loss of certain people, grieving certain relationships and things of that nature, just grieving. You know, you can grieve when you purge for yourself, because it's self-love as well. You know, so allow yourself to grieve. I can't I can't uh I can't emphasize that enough, because we can get so caught up in this world, and we have to do, and we can just ignore our own needs and ignore our own uh, ignore ourselves, and especially put other people around, put other people, places, and things over ourselves, when in reality we need a freaking break. Or I need to step back real quick, like, whoa, kind of going through it right now. And that's okay. You know, this culture of being so tough and so hard is or lack of emotion, or is kind of toxic, if you ask me. It is pretty toxic. um and the truck was kind of messing with me. But it's okay to feel what you're feeling. I know this sounds self-explanatory, but sometimes when you're in it, and when you're so, like, so deep in the darkness, it's like we don't want to listen to anything. So this is why I'm here also. Whoever stumbles upon my videos, um, it's helping me, hopefully, as much as it's helping you, because I got in front of the camera to speak my truth and to give a message, trying to help, you know, trying to be the person that I needed. Sometimes you need to allow yourself to grieve that too, because you didn't really have that. So just feel how you feel. It's been a turbulent ride, and the higher you go, sometimes the more turbulent it gets. Allow yourself to grieve. That's the main point of this video. Allow yourself to grieve. Don't be afraid of your own feelings. Don't crash out. Don't be destructive or self-destructive. I want to be very clear of that. But allow yourself to feel those feelings. Vulnerability is the true strength. Vulnerability is the true strength. I think that's it for this time. I don't want it to go for too long because I could go for forever with this one. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you did, small is mine. Allow yourself to grieve. See you in the next video.